West Broadway in Emerson, which is, you can see these colors kind of coming together around the star. These are the main neighborhoods that make up North Minneapolis. You know, I'd never been to the north side before this meeting, and I'd really just heard about it in the news because, you know, the news reports are always about shootings and robberies. As Karen said, I'm from Buffalo, New York, so I know that the way a city's portrayed in the news isn't always the way it really is. I can't tell you how many times friends, especially from Southern Ontario, have said, "Hey, you're from Buffalo? Is it burning down?" all you see about Buffalo in the news is that it's on fire, you know, all these other great things. And so, you know, part of what we talked about that day was the realities of the north side, what a vibrant community it was. North Minneapolis, North Minneapolis is really diverse. It's where that yellow star is, right in the middle of this chart that shows more than 75% minority. It's also really young. In this slide, it shows that in some areas, 50% of the residents in North Minneapolis are under 18. So you can really see the value of arts organization, and that's really youth-focused. The community faces some of the highest crime, poverty, and unemployment rates in what is otherwise a really wealthy city. Minneapolis is a pretty wealthy city by U.S. standards. For example, in 1999, the Hawthorne neighborhood had rates of poverty more than double those found in the city of Minneapolis overall. This is sort of a familiar slide, sort of showing the change in demographics over the last 30 years. Very strong decrease in white population, strong increase in black population. It's also has a strong Asian community, Asian Pacific community, and Native American community. So it's a really interesting diversity. So just the poverty chart. The blue line shows poverty in Hawthorne, and the green lines show Minneapolis overall. So at this first meeting, said, well, you know, we're thinking about working on Lake Street, and Chris Nelson from Pure Totoko said, you know, Lake Street's a done deal. The planning process has started. There's tons of resources in South Minneapolis, and you need to work up here because in the next few years they're going to be doing a planning process for West Broadway, and so we need more attention and we need more ideas. And you know, it'd be a great place for graduate students in landscape architecture to try to understand how their work impacts communities. I wasn't planning on teaching a service learning class either. I'd never done it before. I don't know how many of you guys have taught or done a service learning sort of class. Yeah, okay, great. Didn't know anything about it. Service learning is an important component of this project. The idea is that in service learning, students work with a community organization, and the relationship is reciprocal. Students are learning from the community organization about the ways in which their field of study sort of hits the ground in reality. It complicates their ideas about what they do and how they do it. And then the community organization it often gets kind of human power in terms of looking at some academic questions, in our case, design questions. And that's really the core of service learning, is this reciprocal relationship. It's not about us helping, you know, helping poor people or anything like that. It's very different. So since 2005, we worked together. We've taught joint courses. What happens is we have joint sessions with Juxta students and our students, and then Marcy's design seminar. Our students learn about the history of hip-hop and urbanism, and they do a tour of Juxta murals. We draw together. The Juxta students come to our studios that we do to critique our students' projects, because a lot of times when we're trying to develop our spaces for youth and spaces for Northside residents, and actually just coming to Juxta, most of our students are white, middle-class students who come from the suburbs. Landscape architecture is a pretty white, middle-class profession still, although we're really trying to change that. And so most of these students are like me. They'd only heard about Minneapolis on the news. They'd also, a few of them really had a grounding in the roots of hip-hop and understanding it as an aesthetic movement. And so after that first hip-hop lecture, which was by a Juxta staff member, I was talking to one of Juxta's students. I said, hey, what did you think about that lecture? And they said, oh, we've heard this before, but it was really good to see you guys see it. Really good to see you guys understand what this art is all about. These are some, this is actually a mural that Juxta commissioned. It was just before the start of the Iraq War. And it was in downtown Minneapolis on a pretty prominent location. It, has things like oil wars and faux news instead of Fox News. It's really intense and incredibly crafted, really beautiful. We sketched the neighborhood in North Minneapolis. We did exercises at Juxta where our students and Juxta students learned to measure their bodies with space, which is one of the ways designers learn how to understand the relationship of the body to the built environment. And then we went out again into North Minneapolis and measured space and did drawings. This is an image of when Juxta came to the university to meet with our students and to critique our students' work. And this is some of the work that came out of that first studio, looking at how to, really the goal was to come up with plans for change on West Broadway. I don't know how many of you guys are in urban design or any design field. Yeah, the real challenge is that oftentimes we're designing or projects are anticipating a better group of people showing up. So the idea is, oh, well, we'll redesign the space and the neighborhood will become more economically viable, which means that more people will move out and wealthier people will move in. And so it's a really big challenge to think about how to design spaces for people who actually live there and so they can continue to live there. This project was really looking at that corner as kind of a center for kids, which is another really touchy subject. No one trusts teenagers, especially not black teenagers, especially, black teenagers with spray cans. So it was a really beautiful, I think, project that inspired Juxta because they are trying to renovate that corner. This is another project that a student from the seminar did, trying to develop a new map of Minneapolis based on Juxta's murals and their locations. You can see a tiny bit of that mural that I talked about here. I think this is like the National Guard. And you can also see some of the other projects. This is the Gateway project that I'll talk about in a little bit. Then we had a big party, kind of art opening on the north side of Juxta to show what their students have been working on, what our students have been working on. Juxta does great events. There's always a DJ, there's always food. It always happens on the street. They've got a giant bubble machine that is on top of their building, kind of blowing bubbles out into the street, which really changes the nature of that corner. This is what some of the Juxta students were working on. This is Katisha's the girl who's sitting down. And she'd been with Juxta, I think since she was like 10 or 11, and now she's 21, and she's one of the instructors. And they created benches because this bench is located right by a bus stop. And in designing bus shelters on the north side, a lot of them don't have benches because they don't want people to sit and stay, they don't want people to sleep. And they don't want loitering, store owners don't want loitering. So Juxta thought it would be great to design a whole bunch of benches and put them near the bus stop and kind of position them around the city as a way of marking the space, as a way for the kids to mark the space, but also as kind of an amenity. This is another really gorgeous bench. This is actually the son of the two directors of Juxtaposition Arts.